I want to say it the way it happened. I was on the back porch with a beer. I saw the smoke before anyone else on the street saw it. I picked up the phone 4 minutes later. My neighbor's name is Roy. He moved into the house behind mine in 2019. He is 63, retired from the post office. Lives alone except when his mother is in town from Indiana, which is 2 weekends a month. Roy and I have been fighting about a tree since 2020, a red oak on his property whose canopy hangs over my backyard. The first year it dropped a branch on my potting shed. The second year a different branch took out a section of my fence. I asked him to trim it. He said the tree was healthy and he wasn't taking down a healthy tree. I offered to pay for the trim. He said no. I sent him a certified letter through a lawyer. He sent one back. I filed a small claims complaint over the fence. The judge sided with me on the fence but said the tree itself was Roy's property to manage. He paid me $400 and we have not spoken since the courtroom in October of 2022. The night I am going to tell you about was September 14th, 2024, a Saturday. I was on my back porch at 11:30 with a beer and a book I was not reading. The motion light in Roy's yard came on. I looked up. There was smoke coming from the side of his house by what I think is the kitchen window. Not a lot of smoke, enough that I stood up. I knew right away it was the kind of small kitchen fire that, if it gets 10 more minutes, becomes a house fire. I knew Roy's mother was in town because her car was in the driveway. I knew nobody else on the street had seen it yet because all the lights were off. I want to be honest about what happened in the next 4 minutes. I did not call 911 right away. I sat back down. I picked up the beer. I told myself I should wait and see if the smoke got worse. I told myself I'd call if it became real. I told myself a small kitchen fire usually puts itself out or the people inside catch it. I told myself a man who would not trim a tree that put a branch through my fence could probably handle his own smoke. I told myself a lot of things in 4 minutes. At 4 minutes the smoke was darker. I picked up the phone. I called 911. I said calm, neighborly things. I gave the address. I said it looked like a kitchen fire. I stayed on the line. The fire department got there in 8 minutes. They knocked the fire down in 20. The damage to the house was contained to the kitchen and the wall behind it. Insurance covered the repair. Roy was at a friend's house for the night. The only person inside the house was his mother. Her name is Eileen. She's 78. She had smoke inhalation. They took her to the hospital. She was admitted overnight and released the next afternoon. The doctor said another 10 minutes would have been a much harder story to tell. Another 10 minutes is not the question. The question is the 4 minutes that were mine. Roy thanked me in the driveway 2 days later. He said he had been told by the fire chief that the call had come in at 11:34 and that the response time had saved his mother's life. He said he was sorry about the tree. He said he was going to take the tree down. The crew came 2 weeks later. The stump is still there. Roy and I are now what passes for friends. He waved at me yesterday. He came over for the 4th of July. His mother sent me a card. The card thanks me by name for saving her life. I have the card on the refrigerator. My wife thinks it is a nice card. I think about the 4 minutes every time I open the refrigerator door. Roy's mother is still in Indiana most of the year. She comes to visit on the second weekend of every other month. The card is still on the refrigerator. What would you have done? Tell me in the comments.